Welcome to This Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped you're here today because we're diving into a story that is, well, it's honestly just jaw-dropping. The 5-year-old who saved 8 lives. We're going to break down an insanely high-stakes, real-life event and map out exactly how a terrifying midnight fire unfolded. We've pulled together the official accounts so you can see exactly how this unbelievable feat was accomplished. So get ready, because this is one of those stories that completely rewrites the rulebook on what you think is possible. Section 1. 2 o'clock in the morning. The moment everything changed. Picture this. The whole house is totally dark. And suddenly, a 5-year-old boy wakes up, and his room is rapidly filling with choking, thick smoke and actively spreading flames. In a situation like this, the margin between life and death is razor thin. Literally, every single second counts. If we're being completely honest with ourselves, if most fully grown adults were abruptly woken up by a raging fire in their bedroom, they'd panic. It's a totally natural biological response to sudden trauma, right? Your brain just goes into overdrive. But Noah Woods? She bypassed panic entirely. He acted extraordinarily. He just went straight into action. Which brings us to Section 2, the extraordinary rescue, escaping the flames. Because, look, it's one thing to not panic. It is an entirely different thing to execute a flawless rescue operation while your bedroom is quite literally burning down around you. And remember, Noah wasn't alone in that room. Sleeping right beside him was the most vulnerable member of the whole household, his 2-year-old sister. And without a single second of hesitation, he executed his next moves with just absolute laser-like precision. Step 1, he picked up his 2-year-old sister. Step 2, he carried her right through the smoke-filled room to the bedroom window. And Step 3, he pushed her safely outside, completely away from the immediate danger of the flames. 1, 2, 3, no freezing up, no screaming for his parents, just pure, calculated, life-saving action. Moving on to Section 3, sounding the alarm. Racing for help. Now, getting his sister out? Incredible. But Noah's rescue mission did not end at the window. In fact, what he did next takes this from a moment of quick thinking to an act of just sustained, unbelievable courage. The danger was still very real, and the rest of his family was still sound asleep inside a burning house. Here is the timeline of what happened next in just a matter of minutes. After waking up to the flames and pushing his sister out the window, Noah actually went back into the burning room. Yeah, you heard that right. He went back inside to rescue the family dog, pulling it safely out through that exact same window. And only after the dog was safe did Noah finally climb out himself. But he didn't just sit on the lawn, He didn't run away and hide. He sprinted through the absolute pitch-black darkness to his uncle's house next door. He pounded and pounded on that door until someone woke up. That frantic alarm he sounded was the ultimate pivot point for everything that happened next. Section 4. The aftermath and recognition. The true scale of heroism. Eventually, the flames were put out. And as the sun came up, investigators and the local community could finally step back and fully assess exactly what this young boy had accomplished in the dark. 8. 8 people. Because Noah woke his uncle, his family was alerted just in time to escape the rapidly spreading fire. 8 family members survived that terrifying night. And they survived with only minor injuries and smoke inhalation. Let that sink in for a second. Fire investigators who looked at the scene later were very, very clear on this fact. If Noah hadn't acted as quickly and decisively as he did, the outcome for those 8 people could have been absolutely tragic. But look, diving into a burning room has a physical cost. Noah suffered minor burns to his hands and his arms from the heat, and the sheer proximity to the fire actually singed his hair. His community, though, they immediately recognized the sheer magnitude of his actions. The Bartow County Fire Department officially named Noah an honorary firefighter and presented him with a prestigious life-saving award. Plus, local officials made sure his bravery wouldn't be forgotten. The county commissioner actually proclaimed February 14, 2020 as Noah Woods Day. Yet, despite all the awards, despite the burns on his own hands and the singed hair on his head, when the dust finally settled, Noah wasn't crying about his injuries. He wasn't worried about himself at all. He had exactly one question for the adults around him. Is everyone okay? That was his only concern. The pure selflessness in that simple question is it's staggering. Section 5. Courage unbound by age, redefining what it means to be a hero. As we start to wrap up this explainer, I really want us to absorb the broader theme here. We often have this very specific image in our heads of what a hero looks like, right? We picture someone tall, strong, heavily trained, probably wearing tons of protective gear. 5. I want you to really think about that number for a moment. Noah Woods wasn't a trained firefighter. He wasn't some specialized emergency responder who'd drilled this scenario 100 times. He wasn't even old enough to attend kindergarten. He was only 5 years old. Stories exactly like Noah's remind us that courage is measured by the choices we make when others need us most. True courage isn't about your age, your size, or your physical strength. Noah Woods didn't stop to debate the pros and cons. He didn't pause to think about what it means to be a hero. He simply acted. And because he chose to act, 8 people are alive today. Sometimes the absolute greatest heroes literally come in the smallest possible packages. Which leaves us with this final thought. When others need you most, how will you choose to act? We might never face a burning building at 2 in the morning, but we all face moments that require us to step up. Noah Woods showed us that the capacity for immense bravery is inside all of us, no matter our size or age. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.